One of the things I'd like to talk about here is the importance of cohesion and coupling. This is something that we're going to bring up quite a bit in the course of our discussion on design. What this basically is a measure of dependencies between components in the system. And in our diagram here, talking about a particular class, I'm looking at cohesion within a particular class. And when we talk about cohesion, we talk about how relevant data and methods are, for example. In other words, if all of the methods and data seem to be working together and they form a cohesive set in terms of the word cohesion, then we say that the class is very cohesive. If we see that there are methods that don't seem to have much to do with each other or don't really rely on each other in any way, then we say that the class is not very cohesive. Now we can expand this up into larger couplings within a system. For example, I can say that several components are very cohesive, meaning they all depend on each other, and find that this is a good grouping of components. If we say that something is coupled, that means that we are dependent on the other component. When you have something that's highly cohesive, then there's coupling within it, but what we'd like to do is to have classes that are very cohesive, but not very coupled with other ones. That would be our optimal design. And so we're going to be constantly looking at distributions of responsibility that increase cohesion and decrease coupling. So in this example, class Y has particular methods that rely on data over in class X, in this case attribute 1 and attribute 2. And hopefully they're not accessing them directly, but even if they're accessing them through accessor methods in class X, we say that class Y is dependent on class X, and that means that the coupling is increased. That means if I change something in X, it most likely will change something in class Y, increasing the complexity of our system, which we don't want. In the next topic, we're going to take a look at layering as a way of creating very directed dependencies.